Okay, day 195 here in historic Deutschtown here in Pittsburgh. As you can see, there's kind of a large, area here, which is kind of a plaza, which is nice. But this street has really beautiful brickwork all along this street. It's kind of a rejuvenating neighborhood. Allegheny General, the hospital is just down there. So it's Pittsburgh's known for its hip replacements because it has all these hills and older folks getting in out of driveways and so forth. But I don't want to talk about that. I wanted to talk about the military-industrial complex. Can you see the transition there? And my key point here is, if you're the Department of Defense and the last person in Congress that challenged you was Cynthia McKinney in 2004 and said, hey, what about this dark budget? What about this 2.4 trillion in the budget? What about that? And then you got knocked out of Congress. Well, nobody else would want to challenge anybody, and that's exactly what's happened. For not the last 12 or 13 years has anybody challenged the military-industrial complex, Cynthia McKinney being the last person. And what's happened since then, when she asked, I think it was about $2 to $3 trillion in black budget, the DOD did not account for, and it's not the rest of the budget, just DOD. And now we're up to, by the Inspector General's report, up to 7.7 trillion. Now, most people say, because that was a couple years ago, we're up to about 9 billion now, or maybe 10 billion, trillion in black budget. So Occam's razor says that the best explanation wins. My best explanation of what they're doing with the money is what they did in the Gladio program in Europe with the Salvation Army, as I mentioned yesterday, the Gladio B program, which is what they did with Gulen in Central Asia and all over the world. And I say there's a Gladio C program, which is the 140 countries that Gulen is in, as well as the United States, which he is in, which Jeff Sessions is meeting with the Justice Minister in Turkey today to talk about extradition, I think. We'll see where that goes. Just the thought of it made me want to drop the camera, the probability there. But, I am saying that those Gladio programs continue. So I'm saying modus operandi. I've said, well, they did it for 50 years. Why would they stop? There's 140 countries where Gulen is in. They're using the Muslim Brotherhood since 1927. Why wouldn't you do that? So if that's the case, that's a lot of money. That's $7.5 trillion at least by their own account. Why wouldn't you have a covert army? I mean, if you want to be prepared, like in 139 other countries, why wouldn't you want to be prepared in this country? And the perfect way, the perfect cover, and again, Occam's razor here, best explanation, is to use it for national security, 911, and call it terrorism. So if you wanted to follow George Webb around, why wouldn't you want to follow him around with 30 people, a whole platoon? Now, they would be plain clothes. You can go ahead. I'm above you, turning the other way. They can be plain clothes, but remember, I'm making money 724. I'm making money. As if I have a security agency or security company, I'm making money from DOD. And I'm doing a lot better than minimum wage. I'm doing probably 20 bucks an hour. That could be for my kids, my relatives, my brother, my sister, etc., my uncle. And we got our own little security company, 12 people, get a couple of brothers. We got maybe up to 30 people in our security company, and we just go around like a platoon, and we make a lot of money from DOD. We call the Fusion Center. The Fusion Center tells us where to go, and we make a lot of money. So again, that's Occam's razor. I can show the programs of the Fusion Centers. I can show the 7,000 agencies that Department of Homeland Security has hired. Dana Priest, 2010, with Top Secret America. So again, Occam's razor. If somebody else can tell me what the $7.5 trillion is spent on, I'm willing to listen.